Great. Yeah.
Well, great. And we've got probably about 4 more people that I'm expecting on here for sure. So if you wouldn't mind waiting another minute or two, but I'd like for everybody to just introduce themselves and tell me what's the one thing you have learned about being an AD that you didn't know before June 30th? What's something that you've noticed? And be kind, but what's something that you've noticed that you've learned that other than all the training you have to go through, which is true, it's a lot of training, but what have you learned that's interesting that you didn't know before? So that would be a fun thing to share, and you can just unmute yourself and share. Richard, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'm right in the top middle, so why not?
Yes.
I didn't realize that if your clubs did not update their officer list, that they'd be locked out of Club Central.
He
Then
just learned that a little while
I couldn't
ago.
go to District Central and get my list because they weren't there.
And sadly, that's quite a few clubs. I'm shocked at how many clubs that represents. So it's a little surprising. So thank you for sharing that, Richard. Who else has something to share that you've learned that you didn't know before July 1st?
I'll take that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
Kevin.
would say that one of the things that I learned was that my club is not the only one where people are super willing to help out and be friendly and be kind. I thought that we were, I don't know that I thought that we were unique in that, but it was just reinforced that Toastmasters all over are great people. And that was really a nice thing to see. I've been so welcomed by every club that I've attended. And it's not because they know Kevin, they know that Kevin's a Toastmaster. And we just treat each other well.
Excellent. Yeah, that's an important thing that I always tell everybody. You meet the most amazing people in Toastmasters. Generally, they're people who learn to grow, who share, and who care. So it's a great idea. Who else would like to share? We've got 1 more minute or two, so anybody could share what's something that you've learned in the last couple months that you didn't know when you started. Who would like to share? And if you don't have your name on there, if you would rename yourself, put your district. If you're an area director, if you'd put your area in the front and then your name afterwards, that would be great. I've got most everybody's name. But,
this does not relate to being an area director, Bart, but it might affect the area directors in the future. If you need something approved by the branding police, you can get Violetta to send it in because she gets quicker results. We're working on the Pathways Champion t-shirt.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we get it straight from the top here. We've got some amazing leaders from Toastmasters all over, including outside of our particular district. So I do want to welcome Lark, and I'll introduce her in just a moment. And those of you who know me, I'm your area director advisor. So I'm basically the ear that you can talk to, complain to, cry to. I'm the shoulder, you know, whatever. I'm here to support you in every way I can. And so this is one of our regular calls that we do, and I'm glad to have you guys here. I do want to welcome Violetta Rios, and Violetta is our Region 3 advisor for her 2nd year, I believe. And so thank you for being on the call, Violetta. I try to engage her and all the other districts in her region to get involved. We might as well share the love, and that's what we try to do. So thank you, Violetta, for being on the call. And of course, we have our amazing district director, Melody Moore, on the call. So thank you for being here, Melody. And we also have Kathy Moore on the call, who is our club quality director. And I probably got that. Program quality director is what it is. Program, that's the PQD. And so far, those are some of the top people we have. And I'll go ahead and get us started. I'm recording this call, so if anyone has a problem with being seen in the recording, you can turn your camera off. But I would like people to get used to unmuting yourselves, which hopefully everyone is well practiced at this point in Toastmasters lore. And so when you have a comment to make, you could unmute yourself and make a comment, usually by saying someone's name, so getting their attention, so we know that you're wanting to say something, and then ask your question. Or even better yet, ask your question in the chat room, and I am more than happy to be the one to interrupt Lark and bring up a relevant chat question. So that's another great way to do that. So please do use the chat room. And I'm going to go ahead and Welcome, Lark Doley. I've got a little bit of an introduction here. Lark Doley has served as our 2018 through 19 Toastmasters International President, and now she is returning to her roots, her home, District 55. I don't think you ever really left us, but that's okay. We're glad to have you returning to us. She told me that she's honored to be with us tonight to explore her favorite leadership role in Toastmasters, which is the role of the area director. This role started her leadership journey in Toastmasters beyond the club level. Lark is known for wearing gold and uses the gold reference in her presentations to symbolize the benefits of Toastmasters. Please welcome the ever golden Lark Doley.
Thank you, District 55. It is golden to be home. Yes, I didn't leave District 55, but I traveled so much before COVID that I did not get to attend District 55 functions. Now that we're online, I can attend District 55 functions and functions all around the world, and so can you. Now, in my introduction, Bart said that the area director role is my favorite role in Toastmasters, and that's true. So now I want each of you to type into the chat why you think the area director role is my favorite leadership role in Toastmasters. So type into the chat why you think that is the case. And Bart said he will be my chat master tonight because I will be showing a PowerPoint presentation and that divides my attention. So he will be looking at the chat to give me feedback about what you're saying. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, but Bart, tell us what they're saying.
Great. Well, Anthony Rodriguez, who is from Amarillo, he says, because you help so many people. It's a great opportunity to help a great many people. And from Humita, it says, I think it means it connects. There you go. So it connects, and I didn't see the rest of that there. From Kathy Moore, the link between the club and the district. It's our first opportunity to truly get to see Toastmasters in a much bigger way. Vijay says that it connects you at the club level as well as at the district and division resources, lots of resources that you learn about, sometimes too many. The area director, Mad said, area director is the role which connects, let me see what the word is here. Oh, which connects both. I got it. Thank you. Kevin Clark.
I thought I would just unmute myself and tell things. This is Madhumita.
Yes.
I was trying to tell that area director's role is the one which connects the direct Toastmaster members to the leaders.
Beautiful.
That is so true.
Beautiful. All right, Bart, that's great. That is absolutely correct. It is the direct link to the leadership of the district and everything above the district. It is the leadership role that can make a difference, truly make a difference. So because you interface with the clubs, if they need any support, you can offer that. So you are the direct liaison between the district and the clubs. Now, the district leadership handbook talks about other responsibilities of the area director so that you visit the clubs. And again, one of the golden linings in the COVID cloud is being able to visit clubs online. You don't have to get in your car to visit them. You literally just have to log into Zoom or WebEx, whatever the conferencing tool is that they're using, and you are there with them. So visiting clubs has become so much easier because of COVID. Area directors need support, and I am delighted. I am thrilled with the support that you're getting this year. Bart Lozier, who could be better than your direct support to the district than Bart? When I found out that Bart was in this role, I thought, congratulations, District 55. What a golden idea to have him in this role. So you have any questions? He said you can call him. You can text him, you can email him, you can WhatsApp him, you can connect with him anytime, day or night. Not all districts have a Bart Lozier, but you do. All right. And when I look at the responsibilities, I did take some of these from the district leader handbook. I did enhance them with some of my own words. So I believe that the first thing that you have to do is build a trusting relationship with your clubs. The first thing. And by the way, Bart shared with me the last area director meeting that you had, and I got to hear Wendy, I got to hear Nancy, I got to hear Scott. And if you did not participate in that first meeting, then I highly encourage you to listen to that recording. There were some golden ideas, golden moments shared during that meeting. And one of those was Wendy said, you know, she just thought you could just do an area visit, tell them to fill out the area visit form, and you were off. And of course, she learned that was not the case. And now she's serving as a Golden Division Director because of her incredible learning. But what she learned is that you have to build a trusting relationship first. So you visit the clubs, and Scott said this, hey, visit the clubs 2 or 3 times just to observe, just to compliment them, to gain their trust. And then you conduct your true area visit where you work with them to fill out the form. Area council meetings. When I was an area governor back then, we did not hold area council meetings. Well, what an incredible opportunity to share best practices and to strengthen all the clubs in your area. Managing the area contest. Notice I use the word manage. That doesn't mean do, right? Doesn't mean you're the doer. It means you're managing the process. Promoting new clubs. So I hope that you will add a club to your area, and then supporting all clubs in achieving excellence. So we all know the district mission, do we not? Build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Guess what? You're a part of both of those, but your major responsibility is to support all clubs in achieving excellence. And then, of course, if you want more information, you can go to our administrative bylaws, Article 7, officers, to see even more about your role. So this is the role of the area director. And the reason I love this role, it is the direct link to the clubs. You can make a difference. And when we talk about leadership, so many people who are leaders in Toastmasters say that they decided to become a leader because they wanted to make a difference. Some people think that's a cliche. To me, it's not a cliche. It's the highest level of leadership, is to make a difference. All right, so now, why? What is your story in Toastmaster, and what is every member's story in every club that you have? This morning, the CEO of Toastmasters International texted me, Dan Rex, and said, Lark, did you know that my car is on a local TV station this morning? We are Austin. Now, I know that District 55 has already had the privilege to have him speak on these Toastmasters Tuesdays. And those Toastmasters Tuesdays, Madam District Director, Madam Program Quality Director, and every leader within District 55, they are pure gold. Well, today, the CEO texted me this morning and told me that my car was on We Are Austin. So I had to look at it. Of course, it was already recorded at that point since I missed the live broadcast, but I watched it. And again, he shared many of the same ideas that he shared with District 55. But what I would say to you is this is a great link to send to your clubs and say, look, watch my car. It's a shorter version, obviously, of what District 55 had. So what a brilliant way to share his message and for them to see the press that he received and that they could receive if they promoted Toastmasters and their club. But why? Why did you join Toastmasters? Why do you stay in Toastmasters? Do you know why every member of your club joined Toastmasters? Do you know why they stay? If there's a member who's been in your club 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or Lark celebrated 30 years with Toastmasters this month, if they've been in Toastmasters years, then why do they stay in this organization? Now what I want you to do is I want you in one sentence or less, One sentence to write in the chat why you joined Toastmasters. Or if you've been in Toastmasters more than 5 years, why you stay. All right, so enter why you joined or why you stay. Now, I joined Toastmasters because I own my own business and I needed to speak to male investors. Yes, back then, not a lot of female investors in women-owned businesses. So I wanted to improve my communication skills in order to be an effective communicator to potential investors. Now, why do I stay? I stay because every single day in this organization, I learn, I grow, I develop, okay? And I love to see the development in others. So giving back is a primary reason as well. All right, so Bart, what are they saying in the chat? Why did they join or why are they staying?
Kathy Moore stole mine. It's to inspire and be inspired. Anthony says to be a better speaker and gain more confidence. Richard Small says, I'm at 5 years. I stay to keep improving. Matt says, I enjoy seeing people grow. Donnie says, practice public speaking. Maureen says, to continue to grow and challenge myself. Kevin says, to redeem myself from high school speech team failure.
Oh.
Teju says, I am trying to improve my speaking skills, as English is a second language. And Ulrike says, Boy Scouts wood badge requirement for more confidence in public speaking and honestly, leadership development. Vijay says, to practice being clear and concise.
Great.
Those are all mine as well.
Thank you so much. All right, so I love to inspire and be inspired. Love that, so I'm stealing that. Just want you to know. I'll attribute it to you and Kathy, but I'm stealing it. All right, so now I want you to think throughout our process of being together tonight. Take some notes if you think it would be of value. I will absolutely share this presentation with Bart so that he can send it out to you afterwards, so that hopefully it can trigger some ideas for you. But I asked you why you joined Toastmasters. Now I want to know, why are you serving in district leadership? Why are you serving as an area director? So I want you to type into the chat why you are serving. We've already shared together why I loved this leadership role. Is that why you are serving in this role? So is it because you know you can make a difference, you can directly impact the clubs that you are serving? Is it to learn more? I hope it's both, right? But I want you to describe this in your own words. So Bart, what are they saying?
Anthony says to be a better leader and learn how to help others. That's also mine. Kevin Clark says to give back. Kathy Moore, every step up I have taken has been more fun than the one before it. Richard Small, to learn and grow. Maureen, honestly, because I was asked and because someone thought I was worthy. I'm trying to live up to that. Donnie says to meet and connect with other members. Ulrike says, same as Maureen. Corey says, wanted to learn more about Toastmaster leadership. From Veronica, is serving as an AD to give back and hopefully to help a club that may be struggling. Teju says, Toastmasters has made a big difference for me. I like to pay it forward. Sandra says to have impact. And last one, Humita, Toastmasters, an environment where which gives us a win-to-win or win-win for you to grow and self-improve as a leader and to serve others.
Beautiful. All right. Those are all golden reasons to serve in district leadership, and we thank you for doing so. When I listened to the video recording of the last meeting, Wendy expressed that she was asked, but when she was asked, she was just told, look, it's not going to take much time. Just visit the clubs a couple of times a year. And then she found out that that was underselling the role of the area director. So I hope that when you were asked, that you were told the benefits of being an area director, but also the time commitment that it does take. So I believe in every leadership role, we gain more than we give, but just like our jobs, our daily jobs, we have to work at those jobs in order to succeed in those jobs. In leadership and Toastmasters, it's the same, right? It does take a commitment. All right, so my next question for you. What do you want to gain personally and professionally by serving as an area director? So listen carefully here, and I want you to try to be specific. So you've said you want to learn and develop. What do you want to learn and develop? So personally, is there something you want to gain specifically? Professionally, is there something that you want to gain? And be as specific as you can here. So type into the chat again, specifically, what would you personally like to gain from serving as an area director? And professionally, what would you like to gain? It is very important for us as leaders to help our clubs and our members connect the dots with the competencies that we gain in our communication and leadership skills development in Toastmasters. Over 300 competencies and pathways, right? So in this role, what did you want? What do you want to gain? Bart, what are they saying?
Kevin Clark says how to delegate better. And I actually have a video out there that we did from last week on that. So Richard Small, to learn diplomacy. Maureen says leadership experience, improve my confidence in myself and in my work role as well. Kathy Moore says, that is a good one, Richard. I'm still working on it. Corey Hickey says, more professional, how to be a better delegator. I try to take on way too much myself. Donnie says, I want to connect with highly motivated people and geek out about public speaking. Teju says, leadership skills. And Sandra says, expand my perspective. Then Vijay says, speak and discuss with comfort on subjects that I'm not an expert at.
Okay. All right. I want each of you to think about this. And if you couldn't come up with a specific skill, many of you did, and thank you for that. I want you to think about this, because in these roles, in leadership roles, we do want you to gain something specific that will help you personally and professionally. All right, so let's look at the next question. How do you want to positively impact your clubs by serving as area director? So again, how do you want to positively impact your clubs? So I want you to think of something specific. Now that you have visited your clubs and you've seen their strengths and their weaknesses, what do you believe as an area director you can do to positively impact your clubs? All right, so Bart, what are they saying?
Anthony says, help them grow with new members in quality meetings. Daniel says, help them learn to thrive in a virtual environment. Richard, help them stay and grow. Maureen, so they know they aren't alone in dealing with these challenges. Corey says, I want to be able to talk with some of the other clubs about membership growth. And one of my big ones was learning how to make each individual club and the individuals in it feel valued.
Great. All right. We're going to talk more about this impact. That was just the first question to think about. As an area director, I want you to think about your focus, right? What is your focus? And in a couple of words, I want you to put your focus. So write down your focus and what your focus should be. And there's, multiple categories here. So if you want to write multiple ones, you may. But I want you to think of a couple of specific areas of focus. All right, so Bart, what are they sharing?
Sandra says growth. And Vijay says assist and get help from district resources. Donnie says to improve productivity. Maureen, keep membership up. Ulrike, membership growth with vital realities. Teju says retention. I see a theme here. Richard says help the clubs learn how we can help. Anthony, pathways. Corey, keep clubs alive and growing. That's it so far.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so all of the things that you have said fall into the category of quality clubs. We cannot have a quality club without retaining members. without growing members, without members achieving their goals. So quality clubs is number one. Now, in order to have a quality club, club officers need to be trained. So when you think about your clubs, how many of the club officers within your clubs have been trained? There's a correlation between successful clubs and clubs that have trained officers. You can't say there's a causation, but there is a definite correlation. So it is very, very important that club officers get trained. So how many of your club officers have been trained in the first training of this program year? Then these club officers have to be engaged. Now, if they go to training, that already tells me that they're engaged, but they need to stay engaged. And you can play a vital role in helping them stay engaged. And we'll talk more about that. Within your clubs, how many of the clubs in your area have teams? How many of the clubs in your area have assistants? Does the president have an assistant? Does the vice president education have an assistant? Or do they have teams? So does the vice president education have an educational team? Does the vice president membership have a membership team? And of course, we can call these teams or committees. I like to call them teams. But the bottom line is, how many teams does each club in your area have? And then think about yourself as an area director. Do you have an assistant? So if you read your district leadership handbook, it says that you ought to have an area secretary. It says that you ought to have an area program quality assistant, right? And you should have a club growth assistant in your area. So for you, how many assistants do you have? Or do you have some teams? By the way, you better have a contest team. I'm just telling you now. And Bart, I'll come back and I will haunt them if they don't get and don't recruit a contest team. So you just tell me if I need to come back.
Okay.
All right, member achievements. So we need to be sure that we are promoting pathways and promoting member achievements. I asked, does the club president know why each member joined the club? And does the vice president education know why and have them scheduled within pathways to achieve their My Why? Club achievements. We have the Distinguished Club Program. Does every club in your area know what the Distinguished Club Program is? Have they created their club success plan? And if we focus on each of these topics, each of these areas with our clubs, then we will have golden benefits for all of us, because we will be sharing the gold of Toastmasters with more and more people around our globe, and especially in District 55. So how can you support your clubs? The first thing is that you have to have built a relationship with them. So I want to know, is your relationship with your clubs golden? Is it silver? Is it bronze? Or is it not a medal at all? Right? So is your relationship with your club golden, silver, bronze, or have you not even gotten on to the medal stage yet? And what I want you to think about is the relationship with the clubs and the relationship with the club officers. So the first thing we need to do is develop a relationship with the club officers, and that starts with the club president. But we also need to develop a relationship with the clubs. And how do we do that? Well, it's by attending their club meetings and participating in their club meetings. So let me tell you the true goal of being an area director. If you attend a club meeting and they do not introduce you as an area director, then you are a golden area director. Now, why do I say that? Because you're a part of them. They didn't feel a need to introduce you. You're not a guest any longer. You're not an area director. You are one of them. That is the highest compliment that you can be given as an area director. So what is your relationship with your clubs? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it bronze? Or is it not a medal at all? And how do you gain that trust? You have to build that relationship, starting with the president, getting to know them. All right. So how often do you attend club meetings? All right. So how often does Toastmasters tell you you need to visit a club? How often? Everybody enter it into the chat. You should know the answer to this. How often does Toastmasters International in the district leader handbook say you have to visit your clubs?
Twice a year.
Twice a year. Does that work? Really? Does that work? Can you build a relationship with your club if you visit them twice a year? Absolutely
No.
not. They won't even know who you are, right? Now, again, the golden lining, by the way, none of my clouds have silver linings. Just want you to know, should be very clear to you. Golden linings, one of the golden linings of COVID is that you can visit your clubs as often as you have time to visit them, right? And let's face it, I want you to be sure that you can feed your families, pay your bills. So it's very important that you maintain your jobs. If you're retired, congratulations, I'm not there yet. But the bottom line is you have to take care of your family. But absolutely, I want you to visit the clubs as often as you can. By the way, if you have an area assistant, can they visit the club? Can they visit the clubs in your name? Absolutely, right? All right, so have I gotten the point across? It's important that you visit your clubs. All right, next, how do you communicate with your clubs? How often and to whom? So I want you to enter into the chat. How do you communicate with your clubs? So write in your methods of communication. How often and to whom? All right, so how often, and to whom? Let's see you enter that into the chat. Now remember, I served as an area director a long time ago, so we didn't have all of this fancy internet stuff back then. Yes, we won't even talk about how long ago it was. But the bottom line is, with all the tools available to us now, we can do this in so many different ways. And I just want to hear how you're doing it. All right, so Bart, what are they saying?
Well, Dan says email, comma, monthly and officers. Richard says email officers each week. Anthony from Amarillo says email, text, call to president, and some officers, depends on what I need. Sandra says text message, well, I like that one, phone calls, and attend online. Teju says email every week or so in club officers. Corey says email primarily, but that also varies on the club. Vijay says email the president and before each meeting.
All right. So had a wide variety of communication, right? And I want you to just think about this. And I liked, Corey made the response that it depends on the club, I think. Your communication may need to depend on the club. So there can be broadcasts that you do to all the clubs, all the club officers, and then there may be some targeted communication that you want to do specific to the clubs. You may want to communicate more with some club presidents, some club officers than others. Now, interestingly enough, in the district leadership handbook, it talks about a monthly communication with club presidents. Again, depending on your clubs, I would prefer that you are communicating with all the club officers in case one club officer doesn't read the communication, doesn't absorb the communication, and maybe another would. And by the way, if you are dealing with struggling clubs, then again, you may need to reach out to the district and think about, is there a communication that needs to go to all the club members in order to reach them? Because if some club officers have decided that the club should no longer exist, guess what? It's not up to the club officers, it's up to the club members. And I will tell you that I have gone to a club meeting where there were 2 club officers, 2 guests. The 2 club officers wanted to dissolve the club. The 2 guests did not. And guess what? The club continued. So I love to tell that story, really out of the ashes, right? The Phoenix Award for that club. So again, communication depends on how the clubs like to communicate, how the club officers like to communicate. And yeah, emails, texts, WhatsApp depends, Telegram depends on the clubs perhaps, and the vehicle of communication that they use. All right, next. How often do your clubs conduct club officer meetings? Have you asked to attend? Now, you notice that I didn't say, are they? I said, how often are they? If they are not conducting club officer meetings, then that is a sign of a problem. So what I would encourage you to do is to ask to attend as an observer. Don't ask to attend to contribute. If they ask you to contribute, you can, but just say you would love to learn more about their club and you would love to attend one or more of their club officer meetings. This will help you find out whether they're conducting them and how often they're conducting them, and then to attend and see how well they're conducting their club officer meetings. So again, this will help you analyze the club and be able to provide productive feedback at the appropriate time. So these are important parts of supporting your club. Now, next, how often do you conduct area council meetings? So everyone, I want you to type into the chat how often you conduct area council meetings. What does Toastmasters International tell you?
2 a year.
Just like the visits.
And Madhumita says monthly.
Ooh,
Richard said, I just scheduled one. BJ says 2 a year. Corey says twice a year.
All right.
According to Toastmasters.
All right.
Everybody so far.
What I want you to know is that just like I do not believe that 2 visits a year are enough, I definitely do not believe that 2 area council meetings a year are enough. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's go into more of this. Why do we conduct these? So why would we conduct area council meetings? So type in the chat why we conduct area council meetings. Why do we conduct them?
To plan the contest, Daniel says.
Okay.
And Anthony says to brainstorm. Ulrike says to connect for the contest. Sandra says familiarization and to plan. And Vijay says that's the opportunity to connect with the club officers. And oops, people are moving fast here. Let's see. Madhumita says to know about the club status and support in their development. Richard says to get feedback from the clubs. Kevin says contest networking. Daniel says to share ideas. Corey says to exchange ideas and face challenges together. Kathy Moore says share, update, and see how we can help. And lastly, Corey Hickey says, and yes, the contest.
All right, but absolutely to exchange ideas and face challenges together, to share best practices, to support one another. That is why we should be holding area council meetings. And guess what? If you haven't conducted one, please conduct one. So we should have conducted one in the first quarter of the year. I say minimum quarterly.
And Lark?
Monthly is too often, but minimum quarterly. Yes.
An important one that Melody Moore mentioned, and I think it's probably the most important, is to share deadlines, events, promotions, and news. Never assume that those emails that go out to people actually got to them where they read them and understood them. This is an opportunity to verify, did they really understand the deadlines and such?
Madam District Director, I bow to you. Absolutely. Thank you. And Bart, thank you for interrupting and sharing that. Absolutely. How do you know that your communications and the communications of the district, the communications of Toastmasters International, are they reading the club leader letter? Are they? So absolutely, these are the reasons that area council meetings are powerful, and you should organize one and conduct them. But let's go further. All right, let's see. All right, so all right. What do these achieve? We've already said that. These achieve all of the things that we said. So it is supporting one another. It is ensuring that they are fulfilling their responsibilities, that they have completed a club success plan, right? That they are conducting quality meetings, that they do know why each member joined Toastmasters, and that they are helping them achieve their my why. All right, those are all reasons that we do this. So how do you decide on the topic? So to Melody's comment, there are certain activities that need to occur within certain times of the year. So guess what? It is membership renewals time. By the way, if I hear any of you say dues are due, I will haunt you, just like I will for you not having teams for your contests, okay? It is membership renewal time. They need to renew their membership to continue to gain the benefits of Toastmasters, right? Membership renewal. So perfect time to discuss that they need to do that. So have they completed their club success plan? Do they know why each member joined? Do they know what each member wants to achieve this year? Have they gone through the Distinguished Club Program, which is a part of the club success plan, and literally outlined which members are going to achieve their level 1, their level 2, their level 3, their level 4, their level 5, right? All right. Who creates the agenda? Well, guess what? You may say you, but you should be reaching out to your clubs. What would they like to discuss during an area council meeting? They may have never heard of one, so you're going to have to tell them what one is, but ask them the topics that would be of benefit to them and then include them. Who participates? Guess what? It says that the president, vice president education, vice president membership participate, right? What about inviting all the club officers? What about inviting club members? Do we have to just limit it to those 3 officers? No, we don't. If you take a vote, you're going to have to limit the vote, but not participation. So guess what? Invite everyone. The more, the better. Who presents? Who presents? All right, I'm going to ask, let's see if they're passing, Bart. So who presents at these area council meetings? I want to see, type in the chat, who presents at these area council meetings?
While we're waiting, I think Lark should.
Thank you, Bart. All right, I'm thinking of other people. All right.
Okay, Daniel says each club president. Ulrike says Bart. Kathy Moore says anyone you invite to present.
Beautiful. All right, so let's stop there. Anyone you invite to present. All right, so you've asked for topics, and you know topics that also need to be done. So what I want you to think about is who should present those topics. And guess what? You don't have to present any of them. You're the facilitator. You're the moderator. So which club is the most successful club in your area? Do they always do a club success plan? So have one of them talk about the club success plan, right? Which club in your area has added new members? Have them talk about membership growth, right? Which club in your area has achieved the most educational achievements? Have them talk about pathways and how they got their members to achieve their goals and pathways. So that's the way that you need to decide who presents. And again, should you present? Maybe. I'd rather you be the facilitator, the moderator, and tie the ends together, wrap the bow around the package at the end, okay? But you need to have your clubs participate. And again, this will help them, this will engage them, and hopefully they will want their officers to come if they're presenting. Maybe a member within their club is presenting, and so all the club officers will support that member. So guess what? Anyone who can present the topics that are of importance and the ones that you have on your agenda for that area council meeting.
Lark, as Kathy Moore says, you get Pathways credit for facilitating an online meeting.
There you go. Absolutely. And so, yes, thank you, Kathy, for bringing that up. By the way, everyone should be getting credit in pathways for these presentations. Thank you, Kathy, for emphasizing that.
And Lark,
All
one
right,
thing I
guys.
might recommend just to everyone is if you can try to find the strength of each one of your clubs and ask each one of the clubs to have a representative to present on that strength and get them all involved, you have a bigger reason for getting all of your clubs there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd like you to have a member of every club there. Absolutely. And I meant to say this. So thank you. Guess what? I'm just going to point out a couple of things here and we will close, but I will send this presentation to you. So when you look at the area purpose, and it's very interesting how they separate this out in the District Leader Handbook. If you look at this, ensure each club fulfills its responsibilities to its members and becomes a distinguished club. That is a quality club. If the club serves its members and is continuously retaining and growing membership, they are a quality club and they will achieve the Distinguished Club program. So quality clubs is your #1 priority because it ticks all the boxes. So I'm going to end with this slide, but this is a powerful slide. Which club in your area is the strongest? Why are they the strongest? What's the second strongest? Why? Which club in your area is the weakest? Why? You need to analyze your clubs. What makes each club strong and what is an area for improvement? So even your strongest clubs, there's bound to be some area for improvement in them. But you need to analyze each club. You need to understand what makes them strong, and you need to understand areas for improvement. So now, how can you strengthen each club? These are some ideas for you. And by the way, you know, there's thousands, millions of ideas out there. These are a few I want to share with you tonight. Build that trusting relationship with your club. Figure out the communication style of the president. Adapt your communication style to that club president's style. Build that trusting relationship. Ensure that the club officers are trained. If they haven't been trained, then guess what? You can do a presentation on the roles and responsibilities of the officers. If they are fulfilling their responsibilities and they just didn't go to training, that's one thing. But guess what? They need to attend training in the future. They can be presenters if they're that strong. Encourage them to understand the my why. This was a campaign 2 years ago. Why each member is a member of their club. The wow factor, that's a quality club. What is the wow factor of each club in your area? Even the weakest clubs, they must have something that is of value, something that some reason that their members are going, right? And if they're so weak, then we need to build them up so they will have that wow factor. Compliment your clubs, compliment them on things they do well, find things that they do well if they're struggling, right? And then start building them up. Participate in club meetings with presentations tailored to their needs. So you need to attend club meetings and participate in them if they need something from you. Facilitate club role exchanges. Okay, so guys, you've got clubs in your area. Encourage them to exchange roles. So have a speaker from one club become a speaker at another club. Have an evaluator from one club go evaluate in another club. Have joint meetings. It is so easy to do joint meetings now online. Ask to attend their club officer meetings. I've already talked about that. Promote these Toastmasters Tuesdays. They are fabulous. I am going to attend as many of them as I can. Club resources. Are every one of your clubs on Easy Speak? They should be if they're not. Ask how you can help them. Now, in the first area director meeting that you had, it was emphasized that you should not be solving their problems for them, but you should be supporting them in solving their problems. By the way, quality club meetings, a couple of ideas. Sergeant at Arms, there should be a warm-up. The sergeant at arms should do a warm-up. I'm a sergeant at arms of one of my clubs. And guess what? I start with a warm-up. I may ask the guests why they came to the meeting, right? Or I could ask club members, you know what, BJ, I don't know why you joined today Toastmasters. Why did you join? Why are you an area director? Why are you staying? The presiding officer should open with welcoming the guests and getting their contact information. And they can send that contact information privately to the VP membership. Because of online meetings now, they can send that in the chat to the VP membership if they don't want to share that contact information with everyone. Ask how Toastmasters has positively impacted members since the last meeting. Guess what? We need to do this, and we need to do this globally. At every one of your Toastmasters meetings, or at least monthly, the president should ask, hey, so tell me this week, how did Toastmasters positively impact your personal life or your professional life? What has Toastmasters done for you that has transferred into your personal and professional life? We need to ask this question. Members and guests need to hear the answer to this question. All right, fill vacant roles before introducing the Toastmaster. All right, so presiding officer, do this beforehand. Don't have the Toastmaster do it afterwards. It breaks up the continuity of the club meeting. So do it ahead of time. Just say, just look at the agenda, make sure everyone who is filling a role is there. And if not, help the Toastmaster fill it. Then you've got your quality club meeting. Then afterwards, the presiding officer should ask the guests for comments. Do this before you conduct a business meeting. I'm putting business meetings at the end. If you need a quorum and you got to conduct them someplace else, okay. But guess what? Your clubs need to see a quality club meeting, and they need to be able to leave if they need to leave. But my next comment, have you attended any club meetings where they're not even inviting the guests to join? Every club needs to invite the guests to join. And if you have time, ask them to stay afterwards and fill them in on how to join. If not, send them the information immediately following the club meeting about how to join. And finally, conduct your club business meetings at the end if you can. All right, so I think I've filled your heads enough tonight, but there's more information in here and we will send it out. Bart, thank you for the golden opportunity to talk with the area directors of District 55. It has been my golden honor.
Thank you, Lark. What a fantastic presentation. Thank you for your time, your expertise, and your graciousness. So we absolutely love you and so thrilled to have you be a part of our district. We're so very proud. We're such a lucky district to be so well known internationally with the best speaker in the world, former director, and it's just amazing. And we're all here to support each other. Even if you're not from District 55, we're here to support each other. So I'm thrilled to have Violetta here as our region director, people like Anthony here representing his area, his district in Amarillo, and just lots of different representatives here. And I want to thank you all for taking the time to be here tonight. I realize you've got very busy lives and lots of training. So this will be available also as a recording, so anyone can watch this at any time. And Lark, I think I'm going to take that last piece you did and clip that out as an amazing piece to send to all meeting directors of, that could be presidents, the VPEs, they all should see that message. It's just an amazing message. So thank you.
Well, thank you for all your sharing tonight. I got great ideas tonight, Golden. I just thank you.
Well,